And we have reached the end of Swiss for the new old school. Anthony joining you once again. And funnily enough, we started the Swiss coverage with Sky Shadow versus Jihen's anti-Sky Shadow. And we end Swiss coverage in the same situation. This time, Zero is the one playing Sky Shadow instead of me. And Jihen is on the same nonsense he is obviously on in round 1. I will say, though, I do believe this match has implications for Jihen making top cut. I'm not sure the exact numbers right now since a couple of matches that happened today have not been entered. But I do think they will have an impact on Jihen's ability to get the top cut, which is why I'm streaming this. That and also it was convenient for me. Anyways. We are just waiting for our setups to conclude. And I actually give them the green light. Actually, perfect timing. So, yeah, you can go ahead and do the roll-off and you're clear to get started. And Jihen rolls a 12. So, 6. It's a 1-die roll-off because 0 only has 1. So, 6. 0 gets a 4. Jihen gets a 6. And Jihen gets the call. And Jihen will go first. And we are underway. If this is anything like round 1, this will result in Jihen winning. Flip Octone. Do a damage to a con. Put it on the tank. And sending the plane into Nova Storm. And Zero had Nova Storm in bot mode there, but that has been corrected. Going in for 8. Blocking 3. Take 5, and a pretty good opening swing. Dropping a guarded posture for a focus fire. No greens on Zero's side of the field. And now let's look at the board state. So Zero's on a blue build of Sky Shadow. I think every build of Sky Shadow in this event is blue with the exception of Jihen's, which is A in the sideboard and B is orange, as you probably could tell by that flip. But again, he has the plane and the strat in the side, or the tank and the strat in the sideboard, rather than being his primary game plan. Anyways, so flip Nova Storm it looks like. And then what is going to be the call here? Sending the tank into the plane. I like that move early. Because Octone is probably going to go in here and cause some problems. Well, either Octone or Tailwind is going to cause problems. And Pierce 2 is the swing. Plane will take 2. Dropping a Lion Weight. Hold line or Espionage is the pickup. Goes for the Espionage. I like that decision. Dropping Guarded Posture for Enforcement Baton. So Jihen opened up with 2 of those. Ow. So draw for turn. Yeah, flip Octone to alt mode and then send Tailwind in here. That is absolutely the correct play. Get some extra damage on the tank, and then when the plane swings in next turn, most likely... Well, honestly, in either situation... Oh, Armed Hovercraft on the Tailwind. So that's decent. So, honestly, yeah, I like this play from Jihen. You send send Tailwind into the tank. Focus Fire 1 copy. So you send Tailwind into the tank, and then next turn you flip back to con mode on Octone. You either pop Nova Storm or get a good amount of damage on the plane. 6 Pierce 1 is the swing. Taking 1 either way, so the tank is up to 2. Or excuse me, up to 3 because the Armed Hovercraft was played. So now if you're Zero, do you send in Nova Storm here or do you try and get something with the plane? If you have the Laser Scalpel in hand, you probably send in Nova Storm, but if you don't, it's a bit of a harder decision, and I don't know what the answer is. Either way, whoever you get sent in here is likely to get popped by Octone. Maybe a little less so if it's the plane. If it's Nova Storm, though, with 6 damage on, 6 health remaining, it's going to be likely. Okay, so that's an indication that probably the plane is going to go in and get a bit of chip damage on Tailwind, if I had to take a wild guess. Unless Jihen is sitting on a bashing shield, and since he is playing an orange deck, it is very likely. Espionage calling orange, if he has the bashing shield. 2 enforcement batons and a work overtime. So an enforcement batons is gotten, and now Zero hopes that Jihen doesn't draw into a bashing shield. And he's going to send in the plane as expected. Into, I did not catch the target. The attack is for 4 Pierce 1. 4 Pierce 1. Blocking 3, taking 1, and that attack was on the plane. Interesting decision. I personally would have gone after Tailwind there. Dropping line weight for a War of Attrition. But yeah, I personally would have gone after Tailwind there just because he actually, no. That is probably the correct decision. Plane does have Bold 2, whereas Tailwind does have a bit of a lower ceiling, so... flip Octone to plane mode, or spaceship mode, or whatever that is. Do damage to a Decepticon. Gets put on the tank. Ramming speed to get rid of the force field. Okay, ignore everything I said about that force field. And, yeah. Send Octone in. You gotta go into the plane here. You get Yep, send Octone to the plane. You have to get maximum damage on Sky Shadow here if you want any chance of winning this. 10. Blocking 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, up to 6, so minimum of 14 when combining. Still a pretty decent amount. And now we'll move over to Green's on Zero side. He picks up a War of Attrition, dropping a handheld. And we'll go ahead and draw for turn. And if you're Zero, if you don't have a laser scalpel in hand, you're in a bit of a rough spot right now. Although, Pierce isn't going to be as crucial in this matchup, but Jihen does seem to have enough blues where it's going to be a problem in the long run. So if you have that laser scalpel now, which he does, get an extra 4 damage on the plane while you still can, and then hope to God that Sky Shadow is able to just Rambo his way through everybody. Although, the fact that all of his characters are hovering around half health remaining is not ideal, especially when you consider that Jihen only has 3 damage total on his side of the field, and it's on his glorified meat shield, essentially. So not ideal if you're Zero right now. You're hoping you can tank out a few extra hits, but with Octone still floating around at full health, it's not exactly certain that he'll be able to do that, because swinging in for 8 every turn is no joke. And Zero is not a fan of going into the plane, but honestly, I think you need to aim for getting bodies off the board at this point. Goes into Octone instead. Interesting. Goes in for 5 Pierce 4, 6 Pierce 4. 6 Pierce 4, blocking 2, take 4. Draw for turn on GN side after the untap. Now comes an interesting question. Personal targeting drone onto the plane, and then work overtime to draw 3 as I need to go get my charging cable for my headset. Batteries, how did they work? Okay. I have my headset plugged in. Flipping Octone to Autobot mode. Sending the plane into the tank, maximizing damage. I like it. So 8 Pierce 1. 8 blocking 4. Taking 4, minimum now is 16. Although, This does set up a situation where Sky Shadow could be KO'd on Combine. So, at this point, Jihen probably holds Octone until the plane is going to get attacked, which means that Zero is probably going to... He's not going to throw out the plane. We'll establish that fact right now. There is no situation in which he attacks with the plane right now. And if you hear clicking, I have Tarn now, so, fear me. Okay, if you're Zero, yeah, flip Nova Storm, get an extra damage on Octone while you can. Seems like a reasonable play. Moving the damage onto Octone after flipping Nova Storm. And that will be followed up by... sending the tank into the plane. Okay, that was fairly predictable, I guess. Click, clack, Tarn transforms. Just going in for 4. Block 2, take 2. And draw for turn. Flipping Octone. Tank will take the damage. That puts him at 19. Or not 19. 9. 1 to Tailwind, 2 to the plate off a Cayman. So that makes the minimum damage 18 on Combine. Oh, wait, we're going to get a reverse here. 2 to the tank. So the tank is dead. So the tank... so, correction, basically. Tank is dead instead of the plane taking 2. So now Sky Shadow combines. No damage is dealt because there's not an Autobot in sight. And then... so now you could just send Octone in for a free shot. Well, could Tailwind potentially get it? Because... oh, wait. Sky Shadow has tough 2. Yeah, you absolutely have to send Octone. Oh, God, there's a grenade launcher. So that's 8. 12. Blocking 3. 4. We had a reshuffle. So currently 12 blocking 4. So currently the attack with Tailwind would have been 7, 9 blocking 4. Yeah, you could have... Jihen could have sent Tailwind in here and it would have been fine. I think. 14. Blocking 5. Yeah, Jihen could have sent in Tailwind there and gotten it because it would have been 9 blocking 5, takes 4. He had 16. That's a dead Sky Shadow. Zero is going to pick up a green, which is a Expat or a War of Attrition. Dropping Underhanded Tactics for War of Attrition. And things are not looking very good for Zero. 11 damage total on Jihen's side of the board, and you have 2 characters dead. 3 if you count the second part of Sky Shadow getting KO'd, but I'm not going to argue that point. I don't have the energy for it right now. Anyways. I honestly don't know what you do if you're Zero here. Smoke Cloak on Nova Storm, that helps. Flip. Honestly, I don't like to encourage surrendering. 3 War of Attrition. Wait a minute. So that heals 3 from Nova Storm. Maybe he's still in this. I was about to say, I don't like to encourage surrendering, but this seems like a any percent surrender speed run glitchless situation. So 1 damage on everybody from the war. From the wars, I should say. So, yeah, Zoro essentially got an armed hovercraft there. Not too bad, all things considered. Nova Storm into Octone. For 5, Pierce 4. 5, Pierce 5. And that will do Pierce 5 to Octone. Up to 11. This is a lot. Looking at it now, this is definitely a more winnable game state for Zero than it was 5 seconds ago. So, making me eat my own words about the 0% glitchless surrender speed run. Flip Octone to Autobot mode. Replace the armed hovercraft with a Power Punch 1 Tailwind. And supercharge him. Yeah, I feel like Nova Storm's about to get smacked. So Bolt 6, currently going in for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 possibly, 3, 12. Okay, it was 12. 12 blocking 5, taking 7, up to 9. If Zero has some boosts in hand for Ominous and gets the kill on Octone here, that would be significant. But the problem is he needs to find a way to get 4 attack and 2 additional Pierce, and I don't know if his deck has the tools to do that. He can get up to that Pierce 4, but it's that last 2 to close the gap and get the kill on Octone that he needs, and again, I don't know if his deck is able to do that. Although, you could... This is an all-out situation. So, if he feels he can survive another turn here, what he could do is try to get just 2 attack onto Ominous and go after the plane. That gets a body off the board, but you're not deleting Octone. Sending Ominous into Octone straight up without flipping Nova Storm. Why would you not flip Nova Storm here? 2 Pierce 2. Why would you not flip Ominous, or not Ominous, Nova Storm there? That's a free damage. Zero, my man, what are you doing? Dropping a force field for an X-Pad. Yeah, that card's dead right now, so pretty good drop. And this is where Octo goes, say hello to my little friend. Bashing Shield to Smoke Cloak. Flip Octone, do a damage. Put it on Ominous, yep. So Nova Storm's at 9. Honestly, I'd send in the plane here to kill Nova Storm if I was Jihen. Up, Cayman. To get rid of Ominous after doing a damage to Tailwind. And I think that's game with Octone. Yep, Octone going in for 8. 9, 10. 10 blocking 1. And that is a dead Nova Storm. So, game 1 goes to Jihen, and now I need to be a referee. Jihen winning against Sky Shadow. Where have we seen that one before? Anyway, Zero, will you be Zero, will you... Multiple people talking at once. Lovely. Anyway, Zero, will you be going first or second? Jihen, will you be citing any characters? Alrighty. Zero, will you be citing any characters? Oh, you may begin citing battle cards. Okay, so Zero's going first. Neither are citing characters. And while that is happening, as always, let's talk about Open Play Night. As many of you know, if you've been watching the coverage of this event, every Saturday on the TFTCG Discord, we do an Open Play Night, encouraging you to bring whatever jank you could possibly imagine. There's usually sometimes a theme associated with it, such as this week, when we are doing Regrets, the new old school. A lot of us had decks that we considered running this for this event, but decided against for one reason or another. Well, this week's Open Play Night is about those decks. I'll probably be running Galaxy Prime. Other people are going to be running a variety of things. I don't know what Legendary is going to be running since he's coping on Cosmos, but we will find out this Saturday. If you didn't have a deck that you considered for new old school, but where was I going with this? Right, if you didn't have any other decks you considered for new old school, or if you did not participate in new old school, no worries. You can just net deck. Because that is not a sin, friendly reminder. It's not a sin. It's not a sin. It's not a sin. Net decking is a good thing. Anyways, if you want to join in on the shenanigans, Open Play Nights start at 7 p.m. Eastern every Saturday at discord.gg/TransformersTCG. And if you want information about upcoming Open Play Nights, transformers.cards is where you want to go. Again, you want to join in on the fun of Open Play Night, head over to discord.gg/TransformersTCG. Open Play Nights every week at 7 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays. And if you want information about upcoming Open Play Nights, transformers.cards. Now we're getting back to the action. We're getting the shuffling here. So, going into Game 2, if Zero is packing any Bellicosities in his sideboard, all of them should have gone in by now. And for those of you who don't know, I actually forgot to mention it because it's kind of crucial for this match. So we banned Sky Shadow Sync a while back, but we are actively testing a replacement in this event that costs 3 stars. And honestly, it's worked. It's actually kind of worked. Through 4 rounds, Sky Shadow is 7-18. 5-16 if you do not count wins during a mirror match that I played against Zero. Anyways, we're off to the game. Zero's going first. I think we may have effectively nerfed Sky Shadow, but we will continue to test it. As for the other card we are testing in this, that is Bellicosity, which is a replacement for Belligerence, which Belligerence is on the chopping block likely because of the fact that it's a wheel turn enabler. It should really only last for 1 swing. And Bellicosity just does that. You choose a character, the first swing they do that turn, both players, blues or oranges. And if testing goes well with that, Belligerence will be banned and replaced with Bellicosity. Tank is going to go into, I don't know who. 4 Pierce 2, block 2 on Octone, take the 2. Get damage on him early, I like that move. And now Jihen's probably coming in for 8 with the plane, though the tank going into or getting hit by the plane is a bit more of a fair matchup. 2-pronged attack. Okay, so 2-pronged attack. You choose a plane. You have the option to choose a plane, do 2 damage to one of the characters on Zero's side of the field. Zero gets to choose. And does the 2 damage to the tank. Flip Octone. Another damage gets dealt. And I just realized I explained that horribly with 2-pronged attack. Basically, choose one of your characters. If it's a tank, your opponent scraps 2 cards from their hand. If it's a plane, they do 2 damage to one of their characters. Octone flips. Zero does another damage to the tank. And who is going to be the swing here on Jihen? Yep, send the plane in. It's your best bet at this point. You need to save Octone for whatever guy doesn't have damage on him. Going in for 7. Blocked, I think. Yep, blocked. On flips alone. The base defense didn't even matter. Dropping 2-pronged attack for a processor. Dropping a handheld for a War of Attrition. Over to Zero's turn. Please flip Nova Storm. Draw for turn. And the plane is vulnerable. but you really don't have a good attacker in this deck. Your main attacker is Sky Shadow, the combined form, and he's nowhere to be seen right now. And considering the fact you're a blue deck, it's going to take a minute to get there. Laser Scalpel on Nova Storm. Okay, that helps. Flip Nova Storm. Is he going to go with Nova Storm, though? Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, because that... Ooh, Espionage calling orange. Always a good pick. Enforcement Batons or Grenade Launcher. There's a processor there as well. You absolutely get rid of the Grenade Launcher there. There is zero reason why you would get rid of the Batons. At least in this situation. If I'm zero in this situation, I want to save Nova Storm for Octone. So you probably send the plane in here. There's no shot he's considering that. There is no shot. You absolutely send the plane in here to save Nova Storm for... Oh, actually, wait. I just realized that Jihen's attacking last before the end tap, so actually setting in Nova Storm here does make sense. 5 Pierce 5. Taking 5. You ideally would have liked to save that for Octone, but given the fact that he is attacking last year, there is no way he attacks with Octone before Tailwind. And by he, I mean Jihen. Yeah, you probably send in Nova Storm here, despite the fact she is absolutely going to get smacked in about 15 seconds. Processor on Tailwind. And he has the Enforcement Batons and a Mystery card. And the Mystery card is either not an action or just one he doesn't really want to play right now. Sending in Octone into Nova Storm, it seems. Going in for 11. Blocking 1. Taking 10. Ooh, came in range, has been reached. Not ideal if you're 0. Now with hindsight, we can see this was a lose-lose scenario for 0. If he sends in the plane, Jihen just sends in Tailwind. If he sends in Nova Storm, which he did, Jihen just sends in Octone and smacks her. Honestly, it just seems like a situation where 0 is on the back foot no matter what with the power of hindsight. We've got to look through the scrap. HV Electron on the plane. Plane into the plane. For 4, 5, 6. 6. No Pierce. Rip. 6 blocking 2. Say the line, Bart! Dropping a Smoke Cloak for a War of Attrition. Draw for pocket on Jihen's side of the field. Incoming transmission. What's the upgrade going to be? We know he has the Enforcement Batons. The Processor got played last turn. Again, I really can't commentate too much without knowing his hand, which we do not have the technology to do, unfortunately. Flip Octone. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Armed Hovercraft on Tailwind. And of course, that is not an alive on 1. Non-attack damage does not count for alive on 1s. Sending Tailwind into Nova Storm. Get a body off the board. Put the pressure on 0. I like that decision. Hey, there's the Cayman. Going in for 6, 7, or 6 Pierce 1? Or, yeah, 7 Pierce 1. 7 Pierce 1. And Pierce 1 is enough to get Nova Storm. And now, if you're 0, you start to panic again. So, Jihen has an Enforcement Baton. He already has one in hand, so I really don't think that's too beneficial to him right now. But then again, what do I know? Work overtime for an Enforcement Batons. Untap. And over to 0's turn. Draw. You absolutely send the tank in here if you're 0. 3 War Attritions. I know who's not taking damage, the plane. Putting all 3 on the Tailwind. And now you have an interesting decision. The plane is going to do more damage, but the tank is going to be able to mitigate it a bit better. Although Octone is rearing down there, so... Assuming I am using that term correctly. Well, I can't seem to find a Google definition of that, so I'm going to assume I'm using it correctly there, but never say it again, just in case. Anyways, so... Sending the tank in to the plane, looks like just going for the kill. Gets the Pierce. 5 Pierce 1, and that is a dead plane. And there's a Bashing Shield and a Focus Fire on Jihen's side of the field. Dropping a Line Weight for an X-Pad on 0's side. And standing by for the decision on Jihen. Or from Jihen, I should say. Letting both of them go. Draw for turn. Draw for pocket. Is Octone going to smack the tank here is the great question. Enforcement Batons to get rid of the Electron Breacher. And in terms of what I would do here, I would not send Octone in here. So putting a damage on the tank. Why would you not send in Tailwind and then save Octone for the plane, smack that, get maximum damage on Sky Shadow? 11. Blocking 5. Take 6. And Jihen's making comments about a live on 2. I feel like he might be holding a Cayman. Draw for turn on 0's side of the field. Well, these are the situations when you wish you had Grenade Launcher. Before anybody says Fusion Bore, remember, that card is banned for good reason. X-Pad on the plane, you might as well tank up at this point. And then plane going into where it has to. Hey, there's a Cayman. Blocking 2. Four Pierce 1. Blocking 2, take 2. And now the plane probably gets smacked. I don't think there's a situation here where Jihen sends into the tank. Now, if he has a Cayman, you absolutely drop that onto the... actually, do you drop the Cayman? I immediately take that back. I don't think you drop the Cayman here. I think instead you just attack the plane straight up, get what damage you can on it, and then next turn drop the Cayman, force to combine, and then use Octone to smack Sky Shadow. I feel like that's the play here, but that rests on the fact that, or rests on the idea, I should say, that Jihen has a Cayman in hand. Power Punch on Tailwind goes into the plane. Yeah, this is the correct move. Absolutely. Base 2, there's a white icon. Okay, base 2, 3, white. 10. Blocking 5, taking 5. Minimum is now 16 on Sky Shadow, and that is a very easy kill for Octone. Dropping a work overtime for an espionage on Jihen's side. And on 0. Dropping an armed hovercraft for an X-Pad on 0's side of the field. We have an untap. And moving over to 0's turn. Draw. Now the question is Jihen holding a Cayman? If it is, whatever 0 does here is irrelevant. If he isn't, it's a bit more of a dicey situation, which is ideal if you're 0. Secret comes down. X-Pad on the plane, and you absolutely send the tank in here. Tank has to go into Octone. Blocking 2 for 5. Pierce 1 is the attack, or 5 Pierce 2. 5 Pierce 2 is the attack. Blocking 2, taking 3, up to 7. Draw for turn, draw for pocket. And we're getting a secret check on the scrap. Stable cover, hold the line. And hidden fort. The fact that Jihen has not immediately dropped a Cayman makes me think he doesn't have it. Yeah, he does not have a Cayman. There is no shot he has a Cayman. Oh, he was holding it. Why was that so delayed? That was a very obvious play. And then, there's Sky Shadow. Here's the boy. Keeps the 2 X-Pad, though. Not ideal, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And you do have Octone here. Flip to con mode. Get a free point of damage. He's combining essentially at 17. And then you're smacking him for 9 after the Enforcement Batons. 11 after flips, most likely. Flip Octone, do a damage. And where's the grenade launcher? Pow! Called it. Called it. So this is a 14 attack swing, most likely, after flips. And secret action. Stable cover does not get pierced, but I don't think +1 defense against a 14 attack swing is going to matter a whole lot, especially when you're alive on 3. So that's 12, 13. 13 pierce nothing because stable cover is a thing. Wait a minute. 13 blocking 7. 13 blocking 2. Oh, no, blocking 8. 13 blocking. Wait a minute, hold up. Me and 0 at the exact same time recognized that there were 2 more cards to be flipped. Blocks 2 more. 13 blocking 10. Oh, on the nose. On the nose. Oh. If it wasn't for the Octone ping, that would have been alive on 1. And wait, is that a concession from 0? That is a concession from 0, and Jihen wins it in 2. I think we may have effectively neutered Sky Shadow, but this deck was designed to beat him, so who knows? We will find out in further testing behind the scenes and also in public, because these cards are public knowledge at this point. But for now, that will conclude our coverage of New Old School Swiss. We were on the top cut. Hopefully you enjoyed what you saw here tonight. If you did, there is a little purple button you can push down below to show that if you're watching this on Twitch, or if you're watching the YouTube re-upload of this, there's a little red button you can push down below to show that. Hopefully we'll get Top Cut streamed this weekend, and I will hopefully get as many matches in as possible. Should be good. I don't think any of the Sky Shadows actually made it to Top Cut, unless you count Jihen's sideboard plan, which that's a debate I'm not going to get into, because frankly I don't have the energy to right now. But all 3 starting pure Sky Shadow decks, I think, are out. Me and Zero are out for sure. Brett, I don't know about. We will find out once the standings are posted, but for now, that will do it for this broadcast. Peace out, y'all.